Hello and welcome to 10 in 10 bike reviews. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's an older bike and it is this behind me, a KTM 990 Adventure R. Now this one has been somewhat modified. Up the front you have the big rally tower and all the kind of rally gubbins that go with it. We'll talk through all the kind of added extras and stuff in the review. But this is what we're going to be riding today. The KTM 990 Adventure R.
Oh. Oh my god, this is so tall! So tall. Oh. Okay, so specs. Let's start with the standard specs and then we can go on to the changes that have been made to this bike. So the engine is a 999 two-cylinder four-stroke engine, which when it was new produced 114 brake horsepower, but this bike is a 2013, so 9 years old, so assuming it probably doesn't produce that now. The engine is in a tubular steel frame with an alloy subframe. Outside of that, the bike is pretty different to the standard. There's way too much on this to actually kind of go through everything that there is on here, but whatever I can remember I will tell you. So, highlights: suspension, very different, has a much firmer rear spring, and the front end actually has the forks off a KTM 950 Enduro. Exhaust has been swapped out for Aquapovics. Rims are Excel rims with Talon hubs. Obviously you can't miss the rally tower. The tower and the screen and other bits and bobs were from Aurora Rally. And we have a Robeck IMO on there, but I honestly can't remember who they're from. There are some Touratech bits too, like the bash plate with the toolbox on. There's loads of triple clamp parts on there, reusable air filter, reusable oil filter, list goes on and on and on and on. So what is it like to ride? Well, first impressions for me, horrible. Mainly because it's so tall. I'm 5'9" on a good day. So for me, it's just too tall. I have to stop next to a curb so I can actually get my foot on the floor. The bike is also quite noisy too, and not just from the exhaust. It kind of rattles all the time. I'm not sure if that's the engine, all the stuff that's kind of bolted onto it, or just some stones caught under the bash plate. It could be, but I'm just constantly worried that something's going to fall off it, to be honest. It's very heavy, too top heavy. Despite KTM putting the battery under the bash plate to try and keep weight low, which is the worst placement of any battery ever, it's still way too top heavy. I mean, maybe I've been spoiled because I've done a lot of riding on the newer 790s and 890s with the kind of low tank on there, and they, you know, they keep the weight nice and low. So, but off-road, I'm not riding it off-road today obviously, but having ridden it off-road in the past, this thing is an absolute beast, and I did love riding it off-road. For the little bit I did anyway. But today on normal roads, I'm just not enjoying it. It doesn't help that it's wet, the roads are slippery, and the tyres are very off-road focused, so all around just not really enjoying it, to be honest. Okay, so how does it look? Looks cool as hell, let's be honest. I mean, I love the look of a rally bike. All that kind of Dakar feel, I've always loved that look to a bike. And it does look like something straight out of the Dakar Rally. Yeah, and because it's used off-road and not for show, you know, it looks grubby, it looks dirty, it looks used, and that's what a proper kind of adventure Dakar rally bike should look like. So what's the best thing about the bike? Best thing about the bike? I'm not sure really. In this situation, nothing really. Off-road, it would definitely be that it's just a real monster. Off-road, the power delivery is fantastic on it. So I guess although I'm not doing off-road today, I'd probably say just the low down power and the grunt of this beast of a bike. What's the worst thing about the bike? Well, that's actually quite hard as well, mainly because there's just so much that I don't like about it. But they can all basically be put into the same bracket, which is that this particular bike has been way too modified for basic road riding. The bike modifications on this bike are very, very specific to off-road rally type riding and to the rider himself, which means as a day-to-day bike it just doesn't really work anymore. The key thing to remember is that we're not reviewing the standard KTM 990 Adventure R. I'm reviewing this kind of bastardized version, which is now just so different. The thing is, the standard 990 Adventure R is a bike I've ridden and love, and on that version there's really not much not to like, if that makes sense. There isn't much not to like. Well, oh no. Oh no. If only I'd been wearing waterproof gear, that wouldn't have been too bad. Okay, so what kit will we ride with this bike? It's simple really. Whether you're just riding a normal 990 or this crazy rally version, the best thing for this bike is going to be something like the Klim Badlands suit. A great high-end adventure rally suit. If you want to keep with the Klim theme, then you know, something like the Krios Pro helmet, or maybe the Schuberth E1 flip up if you want something a bit more kind of long range touring adventure orientated. And then you need some high adventure boots too, something kind of almost motocrossy on these to make sure that your ankles stay safe with the weight of the bike if it falls on top of you, and to give you that support in the ankles that you need. But we'll put some links in the description of the video for these, so you can take a look at them if you're interested. Okay, so how does this make me feel? Honestly, it's exhausting. I'm tense, I'm stressed, and a lot of that is because I just don't trust these tyres on this slippy tarmac, but mostly because this bike was built by Sam, that you might know from Adventure Bike TV. Sam and I built this bike together, and I don't trust either of us to have done a good job particularly. So I'm constantly worried the whole thing is just going to fall apart. But to be serious though, you know, as I said before, I have ridden this bike off-road, and it was great fun. Fast and scary, to the point where I almost needed brown trousers. This kind of brute encourages you to push, and almost encourages you to go out your comfort zone, especially off-road. But I did really, really enjoy it, even though it was still exhausting, tense and stressful, but it was a good tense and stressful, if that makes sense. If I was riding the standard 990 Adventure R, however, I would feel very confident, very happy on the road. I know that bike well, I've ridden it lots. Value for money. Is this bike value for money? No, not this one. The amount of kit on this bike is probably worth more than the bike itself. But again, looking at standard 990 Adventure R, they're really good value at the moment. But if you want one, you probably want to get in there quick, because they're starting to go up in price quite rapidly. So would I have one in my garage? A standard 990 Adventure R, yes, without a doubt. In fact, I actually have a standard 990 Adventure R at home. It just isn't on the road at the moment. Would I get a rallied up one? Well, yeah, actually I would. As long as I could justify it, I was riding off-road lots and I was doing a bit of racing, then yeah, I'd love a rally version. Would I buy this actual one? The one built by me and Sam? No, not in a million years, because it was built by us and I don't trust it, and it's just it's built for Sam, not for me. Yeah, if I could get someone else to build me a rally version, then I'd probably trust it. And yeah, but as a bike, KTM 990 Adventure R, absolutely love it. Definitely would have one in my garage.